1. First of all, the card swiper on our register sucks. You have to swipe it at the perfect angle, usually multiple times, to get it to work correctly, and sometimes you have to type the card in if it's particularly annoying. Most customers understand this, and I get the occasional, "Whoa, how many times you gonna charge me?" Haha. Stupid joke. But this lady started yelling at my 16-year-old cashier to stop swiping her card, so my cashier began typing it in when I walk over to see why she's yelling. "Hi ma'am, what seems to be the problem?" "This girl charged me 3 times for my food and is now asking for the security code in my card." "Sorry ma'am, we haven't actually charged you at all yet because our card reader sucks and sometimes we have to swipe it more than once to get it to go through." "I've been coming here for 6 years and that's never happened before. This is ridiculous." "I assure you ma'am, we just need to type in the security code. You'll only be charged once and then you'll be good to go." She grumbles and hands my cashier back the card, who is visibly upset, and finishes the transaction. I thought that would be the end of it, but she ends up leaving a bad review saying we charged her 4 times for her food, so my shift lead calls her to ask about it. Shift lead gave her free food even though she couldn't prove it, but oh well. She comes in the next day, complains to each person making her food, but doesn't say anything to the cashier and glares at her the whole time. Leaves another review saying she plans on only going to her other location from now on. Good riddance. And today, I just finished this Uber Eats order and sent it out when I get a call from another lady named Kim. "I'd like to speak to the manager." "Hi, our manager is actually on her 30-minute break right now. Is there something I can help you with?" "You charged me $8 for a veggie taco. I want a refund." "No problem. You just have to file it through the Uber Eats app, as we don't have control over refunds that came through them." "Get your manager now. Tell her to clock back in." "I'm afraid it's actually illegal to clock back in from a 30-minute break early." "Oh, do you think you're a lawyer?" I laughed on accident. "No, ma'am. You can Google it. Probably shouldn't have said this, but oh well." "Get me your manager, you fat fucking idiot." "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I already told you how to solve this problem, and you're being extremely rude to me, so I'm going to hang up now." And I did. Told my shift lead about it, and she says I don't have to deal with people talking to me like that, and I did the right thing. Now I'm on my break, because I actually have pretty bad anxiety as well as bipolar disorder, so these types of interactions can be hard for me to recover from. For the record, I'm barely 120 pounds, definitely not fat. 2. So Thursday I was working a relatively slow shift. Maybe 4 people at a 24-seat bar, and a couple with a kid across the room at a high top. Not a lot of action going on, so I had plenty of time to gab with my guests and my table. I don't really get into deep conversation with my tables. They don't want to sit there the whole time and chat with me, and I need to make sure I'm behind the bar most of the time cleaning or taking care of my guests. Well, the lady at my table seemed to have taken a shine to me because I recommended an IPA she liked, and went on and on about how we should be friends on Facebook, to which I told her very truthfully that I don't have one anymore and don't intend on using it. And she decided her, the olderish gentleman, and her daughter would now sit at the bar. I should probably mention they were both drinking 22-ounce beers, because we have those on special that day, so now they're at the bar. They start eavesdropping on my conversation with these 2 very lovely young women about my age. One of them said something about having a bad memory, and I offhandedly joke, sounds like you smoke the reefer, if you don't have good short-term memory. Well, this interested my strange new friend, and she starts asking me if I know anyone that can get her any, and she suffers from all these terrible things that cannabis could help with. Wanting to appear friendly, but keep my work and personal life separate, I scribbled down the number of a pizzeria in Charlotte I used to frequent, and told her to text that number later tonight. That's that, or so I thought. She then gets really weird and asks if I want to be her friend. I try to explain I keep work and my personal life separate, and I don't hang out with my guests ever, but she just won't have it. She starts asking if I want to go smoke with us in her kid's treehouse. Keep in mind, all of this is taking place in front of their child and the dude. While I'm just standing there, trying to step around what I finally realized, I'm a late bloomer and not used to attention from women. This chick is trying to get me to fuck her with this dude who apparently isn't married to her, and she moved from the town over to hide from her crazy ex-husband. I'm at a complete loss for words. I'm getting off the clock in 15 minutes, and that's all I'm getting off of. And this chick is about ready to drag me into her car because she's getting obsessed with me. I swapped places with the upstairs bartender for the last 15, and apparently she asked non-stop about when I'm getting off and where I went. Soon as the clock hit 5, I grabbed my jacket, ducked out the back door into the alley, and went home to unwind. As I'm sitting at my coffee table, rocking myself a nice smoke, I look at the work group chat and see everyone at work talking about this chick. She was there for 30 minutes after I left, asking about me, flirting with my other co-workers, and making out with that older dude while the child just stood under them watching. Then I get a text from my AGM asking what kind of spell I put on this crazy lady, promising to let me know when they were leaving since I was going out for a few drinks and wanted to stop back in at some point. As I'm pulling up to the intersection on the street my bar is at, I see the dude trying to corral this very sexually aggressive and angry chick while keeping an eye on the child. Not wanting to draw attention to myself, I ducked down in the seat and waited for them to pass while the light changed, then proceeded to drink my beers. 3. This happened yesterday during our busy lunch rush hours. I work at a family-owned restaurant and am the only waitress. We're usually super packed and busy during lunch hours, and it can be very overwhelming at times. But most of my customers understand and are patient. The one and only most difficult person ever decided to come dine in during this busy time and decided to bring a friend along. Usually when I bring a menu, I grab our utensils wrapped in a napkin and then bring glasses of water to the table afterwards. But this difficult lady always gave that disgusted look at the cups and says, "I'm not drinking that. I want it in a to-go cup along with plastic utensils." Okay, no problem. But today we were very low on plastic cups and have to save them for to-go orders only. I explained this to her and she kept the disgusted facial expression and says, "I don't care. I'm not going to drink off of that cup." I have about 8 other tables to take care of. So didn't want to argue with her, so went and fixed her a drink in a plastic cup and brought it to her. Once I set it down, her friend says, "Oh, I want it in a to-go cup as well." I repeated, "I know you heard me tell her that we are low on plastic cups." Her friend gives me a stare and says, "I still want one." By this time I'm getting annoyed and asked to take their order, and then turned to the difficult woman and said, "Every time you come here you are always so difficult," and walked off to put her order in and take care of my other customers. While I was busy ringing up a DoorDash order, the friend came up to the register and in a very rude tone says, "Do you have any real silverware?" I said, "Your silverware is on your table wrapped in a napkin." And she looked annoyed and said, "I meant plastic silverware." I told the customer in front of me to wait 1 second, then go and grab plastic utensils and hand it to the rude friend, who snatched it out of my hand and walked off. The customer in front of me said, "Wow, she is very disrespectful." I just laughed and told her, "If only you knew." Later on, I was done ringing everyone up and made sure everyone had their food. I went to check on all my tables. Once I reached the difficult woman and her friend, I asked, "Is everything okay? Can I get you anything else?" The friend replied in the same rude tone, "Yeah, we're fine now. Thanks for finally asking." And the difficult woman says, "I don't like your customer service today." I stood there and said, "I'm sorry." I really wanted to say, if you're so disgusted with our food and hygiene, why bother coming back all the time? Just stay home and cook or go elsewhere. I always go out of my way to make sure you are satisfied with your order, but this time you and your friend were just too much. I am no longer going out of my way for you, especially because I work for tip only, and no matter how hard I try to please you, you were never satisfied and never even leave a tip. The reason I said she is always difficult is because she is never satisfied. She'd order a fried rice and ask for the chicken on the side, which is extra work for the chef, especially while we were super busy. Sometimes the meal isn't spicy enough for her, so she'd send it back and have us remake it to her liking. Sometimes she'd even mix up her order and have us take the plate back because she didn't order that, she meant to order something else. And aside from all of that, she always has that disgusted smirk and look when she comes into our restaurant. Anyway, thanks for listening to me vent. 4. Medium-sized Midwestern town. 3 Mexican restaurants. One of them, fake name is El Glaton, is currently closed as they are renovating. All their customers, rather than simply forgoing Mexican food for a while, are inflicting us with their presence at the restaurant I work at. Fake name is Sabroso. We absolutely would love to treat new customers to a great experience and great food. But these folks are so pissed about not getting to eat at El Glaton that they take it out on their server and/or the owners. Family of 5 last night. Older woman, older man, younger woman, younger man, and a toddler. They are sour-faced, don't smile back, no eye contact. Despite having a minute with our menu, have no idea what drink options we have. That's okay. I tell them what we have. Get them settled in with drinks and a large queso. I am trying hard to give them fast service on a packed night. My heart sinks when the man asks if we have something similar to the Super Burrito, the name for a burrito at El Glaton. I try to give him options that will satisfy the craving. The other 3, without talking to me, talking to table, they ask for chicken nachos. This could be an app nacho with just grilled chicken. Our supreme nachos, shredded chicken, queso, shredded cheese, lettuce, sour cream, and tomatoes, or our chicken fajita nachos. Same as supreme but with grilled chicken instead of shredded, and added grilled veg. I finally wrestle out of them what they want, which is 3 orders of chicken supreme nachos. Note the lack of veg, which I exhaustively went over with them. Describing food takes considerably longer, especially when talking about the differences between items. It's okay though. I'll spoon-feed you your entire dining experience if it means you'll leave happy. Food comes out, I'm keeping drinks and chips full. Check after the first couple of bites. How is everything, I ask. Fine. One mumbled response from the younger man. Okay, cool. I'll leave them alone now. They clean their plates, I drop the check, wish them well. No response. Also fine. They didn't talk throughout the meal. They just seemed miserable, but I'm not their therapist. I asked them how things were, and they gave me no indication of how I could improve their experience, other than magically turning Sabroso into El Glaton. The younger woman goes up to pay. One of the owners is at the register. The owner, Esme, asks her how everything was. It'll do. Oh? Was something wrong with your food? Well, it's no El Glaton. You're right, it's better. Mic drop, I love our owners. They are 2 older women who take very little bullshit. The young woman fires back. We didn't even get any grilled vegetables in our chicken nachos. All you had to do was ask. At El Glaton, we don't have to ask. And we don't have to pay extra for it. Yes, well, I'm glad you like El Glaton so much. I hope to reopen for you soon. The younger woman has paid at this point, huffs and leaves. I was sitting off to the side in shock at what I was hearing. Esme looks at me and asks me if they gave me any problems, to which I said no, but they were generally determined to be miserable. No tip, of course. I'll be so glad when the other restaurant reopens, so we can stop being plagued by their terrible customers. We've had a couple such encounters, like one El Glaton older lady who was horrified that our a la carte chimichanga didn't come topped with lettuce, pico, guac, and sour cream. Because don't you know that's how El Glaton does it? 5. I spent my entire career as a server over 4 different locations, all corporate. This current one is arguably the best job I've ever had. Yes, still young and learning, cut me some slack. And it's unrivaled with about every restaurant near it. It drives the community. Today, though, after a solid 4 months of hitting the ground running, I fell. And this fall was momentous, both literally and figuratively. Put simply, my job is built into an overpriced, super faux luxurious plaza apartment strip that mimics Times Square, but for families with lots of money to waste. Right next door to my job is a theater that occasionally holds plays and operas that attract DEFCON 1 customers. These customers come in waves. They travel together as if they're hyenas, and act no differently. Today I was the sacrificial lamb. It all started with 4 elderly ladies that came in 5 minutes before happy hour ended. We granted them an extension, unbeknownst to us that this party was about to multiply. By 6:30, 30 minutes after our happy hour ended, the Karen party of 4 became a party of 34. All separate checks. The server, who was unfortunate enough to be paired with me, had to survive the onslaught of demands that since the original 4 ladies received happy hour, that all of them by extension deserved the same right. My manager allowed it. Everything seemed to run smoothly. We got the drinks in and headed by seat number. Veteran servers, you already see where I messed up. Should have done it by name, and it only gets worse. Fueled by a bang energy to the skull, I was pumping out more waters with lemon and club sodas with lime, faster than Usain Bolt can dart the 100-meter dash. My coworker was getting plates and pre-drops ready to go. I was confident nothing was going to mess this up. I headed to the bar and started gliding back with about 15 glasses of wine, all put in the same seat order. That was until my drink ticket betrayed me right near the table. It fell down, and my non-slip Skechers were defeated, as myself, the tray, and the wine cascaded to the floor. I was doused from head to toe in happy hour cabs and Pinot Noirs. Embarrassed, pissed, and slightly frightened at how much of a comp that was going to be, I picked myself back up and silently walked to re-ring in every wine glass. The Karens saw their opening, moaning and groaning over my misfortune, asking to speak to the manager as to why their wine was taking so long after seeing me at the point-of-sale system a foot away, scrambling. First round completely comped. Karen 1, me 0. My coworker brought the new wine out, and the musical chairs began. Suddenly, seat 1 became seat 15, and my coworker and I became super weeded. If this was football, what was coming would be the equivalent to a JV high school team faced off against the Kansas City Chiefs today. We tried to rearrange everything as the Karens picked at their heavily modified apps and entrees, with their unnecessarily long nails, and complained about the noise in the restaurant. Some ladies found it fitting to knock over their waters on others' foods, resulting in rapid "Fly, please God, fly!" remakes being sent to a back of house that was already drowning. Suddenly, a movement began to check the time at the table. 15 minutes until doors opened to their show. My coworker and I started to scramble to piece everything together, as the ladies started to rise from their seats and surround us at the point of sale, credit cards in hand. My coworker disappeared to get the manager as the ladies heckled me to no end, utilizing every slander in the book as to why I needed a few minutes to gather their 34 separate checks. I tried explaining that no one made us aware of a show, and that I was rushing it out as quickly as I could. My manager intervened and slowly became aware that his server now belonged to the Karens. Some wound up walking out on their check, causing a scene, and others berated us until they paid for random items. But most importantly, I was overwhelmed and ready to just accept my fate. I thought I was finito, done, 86th, whatever. I didn't even care that my coworker and I made less than 10% on a $500 plus bill that was accounted for. My beloved manager took the time while comping an outrageous amount of items to calm me down and let me know that everything was going to be fine. What felt like a disaster soon became a free meal and a sticker on the incentive wall next to my name. I got to keep the job, eat a meal, do my side work, and head home. Karen 34. Me 35. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates number 84. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. And screw you to Amazon for failing to deliver my package today. What they did now, it's entirely possible that they could have walked up to the door, very gently chapped the letter box, and then went away. But what's more likely to have happened is they've been running behind and they just marked my package as attempted delivery, so they could then meet the schedule, but not deliver to me. Okay, right, no, I'm not going to grumble on about it, but it's annoying. Okay, now stream-wise, probably no stream today. I expect we'll probably do it tomorrow. Things might change and I might do it today, but most likely it's going to be Sunday. Seems to work out as a better day for everyone. Okay, and with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.